He was the first to check in the cinema hotel. He's a man of about 50 years old. He signed in as the professor in the Institute of Development and Studies in Nairobi, Kenya. He was assigned a room on the fourth floor of the East Wing. It was not yet 7 o'clock when he received an anonymous call, which was from Dr. Falani. He received an urgent message from ADA. The agency sent to him in evaluation to affect the scholar who is Dr. Falani as his guide. Professor Kimani noticed that the man is educated. Professor Kimani had persisted asking for the real name of the guy, but the guy tells him that he should just refer him as his guy. Professor Kimani also refused a briefcase in his room, which he is unable to open it. Then the guy tells him the point of opening the briefcase, but he is again not able to open it. Kimani addressed that he will ask 1 hour to announce himself with the things inside the briefcase and still insist on knowing the real name of the guy. Now I take you from chapter 3, where Professor Kimani goes to the University of Nairobi as a senior lecturer due to the University of the East Africa, being his manual. Then he had completed his education at the Oxford. When he joined the university, he approached as a senior lecturer, and yet you remember that time he was a lecturer. Now when he came to Nairobi University, that's the time where he became a senior lecturer. Now, staying at the university, Professor Kimani launched a music debate to demand that the Nairobi Sports strive for relevance to the society rather than simply excellence of work. There where we see that they change. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. So after 6 months, he prevailed in the society. After 6 months, he prevailed to the society, and the university official motto became relevance to the society. That change continuously. You see, they have already changed the motto of the university. Now, after changing the university motto, we also wanted the university to be an agent of change, not just a mere spectator of it. Professor Kimani is determined and firm, despite having no support from his colleagues, and he later on won the duty of the campus queen. That's why Professor Kimani gets married to Sia and later promoted from senior lecturer to doctorate.
What happened before the other? You were saying that Richmond was promoted after. And that promotion was it genuine? Yes? According to the text, it was not genuine, right? They just raised his entry point so that he can fit in. So there was some corrupt act here.
Yeah, welcome to the first Kimani married Asia Omonde. They had a daughter. Her name was Tony. So one day, Kimani was talking to Tony, and he was explaining to him about the government. Sorry, to her about the change in government, how the global recession, economic recession, came over Africa. Professor Kimani explained to her about how now the parliament, the change came whereby the MPs were earning more than the MPs were earning more than the professor were earning more than the MPs. Then later it was changed whereby the MPs are now earning more than the professors. Yeah. Then after that, Professor Kimani and Asia Omoni, they were living with their daughters. Then Tony got an accident.
Then you rushed us because remember, there's a program that comes from focusing on poor governance. And when you look at poor governance, this aspect from page 22 up to somewhere page 27 is very important. Telling us about the negligence of the government, the fact that they are not providing security anymore, instead the citizens are doing it for themselves. Now, when you look at Karani, Kimani thinks that they should never ever offer themselves private security as Tuni. You know, Tuni is campaigning for that, and as here too. But Kimani in his thought believes that security is supposed to be provided by the government because people pay taxes. The other thing that we are seeing here is the greed by the leaders. The fact that they hold food in power. They suggest higher salaries for themselves and they are not ready to pay what? Taxes. No wonder we have so many MPs, including Walombu, they have a fleet of vehicles, they have luxurious life, because they don't pay tax, but they keep campaigning in parliament for higher payments every time. Then there is another aspect we share here, that currently the donors, who are the donors by the way? Who are the donors of third world countries? Of course there are the UK, maybe US and some nations. So he's telling us on page 22 that the donors are the forces behind us. We do everything according to what they want. What is that? What is that in one word? Historian, what is that? Excuse me? Neocolonialism, right. And there's a question that comes from essay on the fact that neocolonialism is still practiced. In Kiswahili, call it what? Yeah, ukoloni mamboleo. So it's still being practiced. Whatever decisions we make on academics, on economics, on constitution, we base on our colonial masters because they are the donors every time they are bringing this money. You hear our president has gone there to campaign and what have you. So when you look at that fact, he's saying that everything that country is doing now, they are relying on that. The other thing is actually showing here is that most politicians are greedy for wealth, but they don't think, according to him. That's why he's saying that the tyranny of change in his nation has been led by the MPs, and because now they are the ones who are conducting corruption, there is no way they can fight it. They keep covering it up, and every time, even if you change leaders, the ones who come in will practice the same thing. And those are very important matters, by the way. If you forget about them, most times you write a lesson that lasts a lot of information. Now see the fact that Tuni is there, struggling to make sure that he is empowered in security, and her argument is that most women have become vulnerable in the society. They are the target for anyone that wants to attack, including the rapists and all that. And she shares when they are eating one day about the aspect of what? The aspect of women are not very careful about their surroundings. Sometimes they go to the supermarket, they have packed a vehicle, they come in and just drive away, not knowing that the predator might be around that place. And the solution she gives from the seminars is that you need to pack a vehicle if that's how does Kimani respond to this? He does not respond because, of course, we know that he has a dying car. And of course, as he reminds him of that, he reminds him of that pain that she says, crash the car, the only dying one that we have. So we see that Kimani is desperate in that situation. Of course, we are shown that he kind of feels miserable when he asks that he would have the vehicle and go borrowed that class that she wants to go somewhere the next day. So now proceed from that class and explain maybe how it affects Kimani, because we are focusing on Kimani. Around page 32 there.
After the death of Kimani, Kimani Asia were in Antonio for 6 months. So Asia woke up dejected again about Kimani. Asia then this time she was not about Kimani. It was about her husband. Asia broke the monotony, whereby he told Professor Kimani that she wants to be married by Kimani. Professor Kimani then told her that asked her if she wants to be married to Aloni because of money, but Asia did not respond. She just so after the accident took place, where Tuni died, so Professor Kimani and her wife was Asia. Yeah, his wife was Asia. There when we see Asia was inconsolable, and there when he woke up one day and told Professor Kimani that he wanted to get married to Aloni. And you remember that time I told Professor Kimani that he will leave teaching and go and do politics, but Professor Kimani informed her that he was born a teacher and will die a teacher. Is that right? Yes. Yeah, so there when now that day, Professor Kimani, because you know the first time he thought it was just about the death of her daughter. But now Sia told her that she wanted to get married to the. And when she asked her if it was about money, you remember Asia told her that she lived with him for all those years without money. And why did she now say that she wanted to move on alone? She wanted to get married to move on alone because of money. Now Asia leaves Kimani and goes to move on alone. That's where we see now Professor Kimani goes and confronts move on alone. That's where it comes from. And then when he reached in the office, despite those secretaries, yes, stopping him from entering, he still insists and enters. He insults the Mimamalomu by calling him a fat baboon, and this leads to a fight after him asking him why he wanted to snatch away his wife, and yet he already had 3 wives. Yeah. Then when they fought, they were stopped by police officers where the 2 men were arrested. After the arrest, now the only person who suffered the most was Professor Kimani, where Professor Kimani was jailed for 6 months. And after being jailed for 6 months, there when he was now, after jail, he was demoted from a full professor at senior lecturer. Now, you know, the university demoted him for a reason. Who can give us the reason why he was demoted? A reason? Yeah. Who knows the reason? He was jailed for assaulting the MD. When he was address the university. So now we are there. I will come able to continue.
Now, just remember when you are giving what defect, remember to give the aspect of he comes out rejected. We are also told that he was doomed beyond repair. So when you are answering in your essay, remember that. And also the fact that when you talk about the fight, who began the fight? Yeah, Kimani grew up. Did he need to allow you? No. What happened?
He was
Missed. And again, after he raised, after standing up again, he swung another. Then what happened? He missed and fell. So those small details are very important in your essay. Do not ignore them.
yes. Continue.
Where are we meeting next? Now we talk about this.
So where we meet Professor Kimani is where now he receives a note from Tanzania. It was now after all the things that happened to him, that he wanted his wife was really he had already died. Now Professor Kimani receives Tanzania. Aware that Norway introduced a special project for him that was Alpha, and he asked him to join Path Alpha. Which he would like him to follow. Yeah, that which Path Alpha deals with the idea. Professor Kimani pretended like he was not the one who that Norway was looking for, but Third Norway just said he was the one because of his past, and he knew he could be able to do a perfect work and was able to support Path Alpha well. Then Professor Kimani accepted the documents that the Third Norway had given to him, and Kimani was asked if he would be able to join the Path Alpha, and yes, he accepted, remembering the mistreatment that he got, the discussion of his wife, and even that being demoted from the university. So he saw that he had no other option, and he had no other option, so he just chose another path, just to leave the profession, to being a teacher, and join Alpha. That's where Third Norway's observation with Professor Kimani is.
Okay, I'll just add something. When you are answering, there's a question that also comes on the aspect of determination and focus. When you are answering about Third Norway, maybe those will handle Third Norway, give us reasons as to why Kimani feels is not suitable. And here I expected them to have mentioned that Kimani did not believe in himself as an ambassador of change. For him, he said that he was just a teacher, he wouldn't even campaign or radically talk about anything. But remembering that in past, he has held radical aspects that Samantha has shared, such as bringing change to the university and bringing the aspect of relevance. So that is the point of reference that makes Third Norway focus on him and consider him as what being in Agda, a person who can bring change through will. Remember, Path Alpha was about will to change, not forcing people to change. Then another thing is the aspect of knowledge. Kimani shows a lot of knowledge here when they're discussing aspect of South Africa. Like they mentioned about culture, remember? Yeah, those are aspects that you need to give, because there are questions where you need to give such details to show why Third Norway picked on Kimani and not anyone else. So when else do we meet Kimani? The rest of the people, what are you doing? Only 3 of us have a Facebook and the 2. tell us about Kimani there?
Brushing his hair, ready to bed. Then he was interrupted by a call from the guide. Then Professor Kedon told that they were supposed to meet at 20:51 in the center.
Now, I want you people to think about why were we given that description about Kimani? Why does the author tell us that as Professor Kimani brushed his teeth, ready for bed, the mirror before him showed him he was loose everywhere. His belly hung over his bed like a half-empty sack, loose. He tried to search it in, it said good. His face had wrinkles like a dried prune, loose. 2 folds of skin ran on the left and right side of his nose, down to the left and right corners of his mouth, loose. He tried to smile them away. They refused to leave. The flesh under his chin hung and shook, loose. Getting more and process now, all loosening, his mobile phone interrupted. Why all these details? Why are they there? Or why will you use them if you are writing an essay? What are they trying to give us anyway? Josie? That regardless of having lost a lot in life, because that aging is not normal. You know, the way the author describes it is a pathetic description. Regardless of having worn out through the troubles he had gone through, he still has that determination to go on. And somehow you can also use it to show the effect of what? Wrong choices. So when next again do you meet Kimani? Okay. 53 again. But that meeting was there also. That meeting that is called the meeting that is called, I think 147 there. But that one you can reference the fact that because when you are answering the question unity is strength, you have to bring in the presence of Kimani in that meeting where the guide has told them and advised them on what to do before you get to page 150. When next do you say he's there? When is this?